Well, tonight marks the one-year anniversary of the deadliest mass shooting in modern U.S. history.
58 people were killed, hundreds more injured when a gunman opened fire at the Route 91 Music Festival in Las Vegas. Each of those victims are being remembered tonight, and the Strip is to be going dark this evening to mark the time the shooting began 1 year ago.
That was 10:01. Now tonight there was also a dedication ceremony for the Remembrance Wall. It started a makeshift memorial made with wooden pallets. It's now been remade into a community garden.
The remembrances started early today with the sunrise service. First responders on bagpipes got things started. The interfaith service included the release of doves into the air and 58 seconds of silence, 1 second for each of the victims killed.
Our own Pat Harvey is in Las Vegas right now to begin our live team coverage. Pat?
Thank you very much, Jeff and Susie. And we are in front of that Mandalay Bay Hotel where that gunman opened fire on a music festival of 22,000 attendees right across the street from me. And as you mentioned, one of the most profound and monumental events of the entire day and evening is set to happen just moments from now, where the lights on the iconic Las Vegas Strip will go dark to honor the victims of last year's shooting. And to just tell you just how monumental this has only happened a handful of times, dating back to the assassination of President John F. Kennedy in 1963. So we are waiting for that moment to happen. We're here live. A number of people have gathered out here to witness the very same thing. It's all of a sudden very quiet, and there's almost a sense of calm out here, where we heard quite a bit of, I wouldn't say noise, but there had been a lot of motion, a lot of people moving around, helicopters flying, and in fact, music coming from somewhere in the background. But for now, there seems to have been a calm that it's taken over the Las Vegas Strip, at least from our vantage point where we are. As you said, there have been so many tributes and honors throughout the day, starting with that sunrise service this morning. And this is one of the events that will cap the evening. And the reason they wanted to do it at this particular time was, as you mentioned, that's when that gunman opened fire on these concert goers. We have another event that is happening here tonight that is also promoting healing in the city of Las Vegas for the mourners. We want to go to Nicole Comstock now. She's at the Healing Garden, where a number of people are gathered to hear the names of the 58 victims being read aloud. Nicole?
That's right, Pat. Two very emotional ceremonies tonight here in what you can see is a very packed community healing garden. First of all, the dedication of the Remembrance Wall a little bit earlier this evening. And right now, everyone here in the crowd is getting ready to hear the 58 names of all of those victims who lost their lives in the shooting read aloud right now. A little bit earlier this evening, we caught up with a local police department who lost one of their own. The sun sets behind a tower of clouds, creating an arc over hundreds of people in the crowd.
It's about all of those 58 we lost.
Not a rainbow, but a shadow in the shape of one.
We saw the sign in the sky.
A powerful metaphor for how everyone feels here today, 1 year later, dedicating a remembrance wall to the 58 people killed at the Route 91 Harvest Festival.
It's Rachel Parker.
One of those people brought two members of a Southern California police department nearly 300 miles for the ceremony.
33 years old at the time of her death. She was attending the concert with three other members of our police department.
Rachel Parker worked at Manhattan Beach PD for 10 years and will forever be remembered for her sweet, helpful spirit.
We're out here because Rachel is so full of life, such a wonderful person, and we don't want her ever to be forgotten.
Cameras were the only sounds in the crowd as people placed a flower on the fence for each victim, commemorating this milestone. 1 year stronger.
I want to thank you all for being here tonight.
And former Congresswoman and shooting survivor Gabby Giffords was also here this evening, lending support to survivors. You can hear the bagpipes playing right now, so we're going to let you listen in on that for just a second. And you can see him just starting to walk through the crowd here this evening at the Community Healing Garden, and as they're just about to start reading the 58 names of those victims. Pat, we'll toss it back to you.
All right, thank you for that, Nicole. And we are still across the street from that music festival, from the site of the music festival. We see, I would say, hundreds of people lining up. They are starting to link hands to form a human chain around this venue. And we are told that wherever there is a hole, that should represent the 58 people who lost their lives. I'm hoping you can see this. There is a gentleman walking through the middle of the street holding an American flag. Other people have come from near and far, from what I understand. Everybody that's in this particular procession here is not from Las Vegas. They've come here from all over to join in. And as we've been talking about, over half of the 58 victims, at least 31 people, were from Southern California who lost their lives. So these people are here to pay tribute and to honor the victims of this horrific event that happened in their city. But at the same time, they want people to know and understand. While Las Vegas is a world-class city, it has visitors from all around the world to actually give it its livelihood. They depend on the tourism and the visitors, as we all know that. But it is the city, it is the people of the city of Las Vegas, the people that live here, that make this city work for the rest of us. And I must tell you, Jeff and Susie, that while talking to some people, whether it be the cab driver or the worker in the restaurant, they're all very saddened about the events of last year, but very determined to make sure we tell people that they are proud of their city and that they're going to get through this. And Las Vegas, it's about them being able to work through all of this violence and this profound sadness. And this is their way of doing it tonight. So as we stand here in front of the Mandalay Bay and across from the music festival, we are witnessing a very strong show of support and emotion here tonight. So live from Las Vegas, this is Pat Harvey. Jeff and Susie, I'll send it back to you.
All right, Pat, thank you so much.